Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of New Vida Let's Talk. Today we have Sammy Azero with us today. He's an actor, a director, a writer, also a former soccer player as well.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Bo, for coming on.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I guess for those who don't really know you, do you want to give us a little background, like who you are, what do you do, and
Well, I'm a actor, director, like you said, really. Yeah, I think you really described it really well. But yeah, I just been working for a while. Just had the opportunity to work on, quite a few amazing productions. And yeah, right now run a production company with my girlfriend, Victoria. She's sitting right there.
Yeah.
And yeah, we do advertising for a variety of companies from, construction, landscaping, businesses, small businesses, anything. So yeah, that's what we do.
That's awesome. I guess one thing we wanted to dive right into is, like, we know that you went to Western for medical sciences, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about what got you into acting, bro.
Yeah. That was yeah, man. I think there was this one moment for me during my whole year there. It was I was on a bus ride back to Toronto, and I saw these med school students. They were studying, and they went to Western for medical school, and he had these like papers that were like these booklets. It was this thick, and the front and back, and the writing was like font like freaking 5,
Yeah.
like you freaking type. So, and I'm looking at that, I'm like, holy shit, this is nuts. I'm like, is this what you have to do? And he looked at me, he's like, hey, listen, if you don't love this shit, don't do it.
Okay.
He just said, don't fucking do it, don't even think about it, because you're gonna be miserable. I'm like, fuck. So then, I've always had a love for, the arts. Actually, for sports, I initially wanted to be a professional soccer player. So I played provincial for Ontario in Canada, and, went to university, did the studies, and, yeah, just kind of found that whole passion with, like, the arts and stuff, and just kind of, quickly called the shot. I'm like, listen, I got to do this now. I'm not going to wait. So I switched. I did a year of theater after that.
At Western? Or?
No, at Ryerson.
Okay,
here.
cool.
Sweet, okay.
And there's a funny story with that, but I don't know how long
Let's
you
just
guys
hear
got.
it.
Man,
Let's
we got
hear it.
time. Dive into it,
Let's
because
hear
like
it.
even
So, so basically, my dad's a university professor, right? So
Okay.
he's he's all academic, and basically I had no background in any sort of material to give, because that's what you have to give to get into like a theater school. So I had applied to neuroscience at U of T at the same time.
What a rowdy
And-
mix, huh?
And
What
I
that's left
had
and right.
so I had that acceptance from U of T, and then I go to the theater director, and I have this interview, and it's like really last minute, and he's like, listen, so we'll let you know what our decision is. And I'm like, listen, you have one day to tell me what your decision is, because I have this other acceptance. I need to know now, because I have to accept that. It's gonna be too late. He looked at me, he's like, great, yeah, you're good, yeah, let's go.
Really?
So
Crazy.
I got into the program. Yeah, that was nuts, and I left after a year. I'm like, fuck this. It just wasn't for me. I thought it was gonna be something else, but it wasn't. And then I did a year of engineering, and then after I just cut everything, and I'm
So
like,
you've
okay.
done a lot
Yeah.
of like academic stuff, like so
Yeah.
obviously you're pretty well educated in like at least your math and everything like that,
Yeah.
where you can jump from so all the scientific to like now we're doing like buildings and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of I mean, again, like family background is all just academic, so
Okay.
as much as studying as possible. I was just studying 24/7.
In high school, did you do any of the arts? Because like
No,
nothing. Like
No.
you had no drama, no like.
no, nothing. I did one drama course, I think grade 9.
Okay.
That
Because
was-
mandatory.
that was
I'm
mandatory, like,
that's
that's
good.
whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't. It was all like the hardest, physics, calc, chem, bio. All
Did
that
did you find that like your past set you up to get to where you're at, or is it that you excel in some of the hardest things, like all these like STEM courses, that when you took on like doing acting or something like that, you're like, I can do this. It's not harder than what I've done.
I mean, they're two totally different worlds. You can't really compare the two. The only thing I would say is that, either way, no matter what you're planning to do, you got to put 100% of your effort in. So, just developing that work ethic is like the most important part. I think that's what helped me, I guess, in that whole academic side. It was just pushing that work ethic and making sure, you're prepared. So
Yeah.
100% just working hard.
It seems like you had that like big influence from your family, like you said, to pursue academics. How did they take it once you said, okay, I want to get into acting?
Yeah, that's the big question. No, they didn't take it well. No? It was actually, so when I told my dad, he told me to, I had to prove it to him that I can still do this. I can still do the academic world, but I don't want to. Because he thought I was quitting because, I couldn't handle it or some shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I can, that's not the case. So I had to finish the first year at least with a high GPA.
Yeah.
And then be like, here.
Oh, really?
Like, there you go. So I can do it. It's not like that. And then I moved on to the other side. So yeah, it was a proving process and a lot of just like bashing and just,
Was there a lot of growth out of it though? Like being able to like show him that you could do it?
No, I mean, growth. I mean, I'm just, naturally I'm competitive, I guess.
Yeah.
So that side of me is just like, all right, I'll show you. Like,
Yeah.
I'll prove it to you that, I can do it. But, once like after that, once you start getting your first couple projects, then when they realize how serious and everything is, then, they slowly start to,
Believe it.
come along.
Did it take you a while to make that choice? Because I feel like a lot of people have that like brewing in their head that they want to switch careers or switch paths, and then they never actually do it. Like, were you kind of a person who's just like, I don't like this, fuck it, I'm gonna change? Or
Yeah, it was kind of like the burn the boats. You know that whole concept, burning the boats.
No.
So it's like when it's in this book where, when you decide to, like, let's say you get off the boat and you don't want to give yourself the option of turning back, so you burn the boats. You don't have another fucking choice, so you have to go. You don't have a choice.
Okay.
That was kind of the mentality that I approached everything, and because you don't want to turn back and say, oh, what if, guys? That bothers me the most, right?
Yeah.
That's like, it's the worst.
Yeah.
So burn the boats. I decided that I didn't want to, like, literally mid-year, and then I had to finish, and then burn the boats. I changed programs, so yeah, and then I dropped out after.
what was I guess the first like in the arts? What was the first thing you went into? Was it writing, directing? Was it being an actor? Or
Okay, so basically when you go into the arts, you want to showcase, you're real, basically, right? You want to see, people want to see what you can do. I didn't have any of that, so me and my girlfriend, we wrote our own projects and we directed them. We hired a whole crew, and once we finished that was material to showcase, like, hey, this is what we can do and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's how it kind of initiated that process.
And this was like 2016, if I'm correct, or
2016, yeah, 2016,
okay.
2017, something
Okay.
like that. Is when we started just going all out on these projects.
that's lucky you have someone there to support you though on
Absolutely.
these projects.
Honestly,
How important
she
is
was.
that?
I would say it's like the key, really. Like it's when you have someone that understands, your passion for something, and they're willing to help you in that process, and it's equivalent on other end too. But funny enough, she was actually the one that sent the email out for the agencies. I didn't do it. Okay. I didn't know much, and she actually wrote my whole cover letter, and she's like, hey, this and this and this.
Yeah.
And then that's when it kind of, I got responses from agencies, and then it went from there.
Yeah.
But she's a manager. My girlfriend's literally a manager. Like,
it's key though, right? Like,
he runs it.
Sometimes you need someone like that to actually get you out there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just any sort of helping hand, but also learning from people that are out there from experience and stuff, just to give you that kind of boost, that kind of motivation in a sense, is really important. 100%.
I was gonna say, was there a moment where you felt like you started the traction? Like, was there a moment when you guys started that company? Was it like, okay, like now we're actually doing it? Like we're getting serious?
It was, so funny enough, it was a bit of a gap. So started the company under a whole different name, and then had, like, my first gig was on Netflix series. I was there for like 8 episodes there. So after that, I'm thinking about the process, what happened. We went to LA for a little while, and then came back, pandemic. It was, it was more so like 2020 20-ish where, you know, we started to focus more.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said before, I was doing a lot of stock market work too. So that kind of got in the middle of it. So, and then it was pretty recent that we just kind of started banging out and getting multiple clients like on a week or every week. So it was.
Where does this entrepreneurial spirit come from? Because like you seem like you're super entrepreneurial.
I mean, it's, I don't know. It's like just maybe not wanting to work for someone. I don't know.
That's a fact.
Just
100%.
one not wanting to work. I mean, you know, it's just
Your time matters, right?
I've had it. You know, some people just get you to do shit that I was always a person to be like, no, that's not the right way to do it, kind of a way. Like I lifeguarded too. I did lifeguarding was my first job, and I would teach swimming to kids. And I remember my supervisor, she was critiquing me on how I was doing it because I was giving the kids harder stuff to do if they were good, right? Some kids were like really eager. They're like, okay, you know, I knew they could swim more, right? So I'm like, okay, you know what? Do another 2 laps because I know you got it in you, and you're going to prepare yourself for the next level, which is going to be a lot harder. But the teacher, you know, the supervisor was like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Jeez.
And I'm like, you know what? You come teach them then. And then
Yeah.
I just, you know, I guess that kind of mentality is like, you know, I have the method that I want to work by.
So you've done lifeguard. What other jobs have you done then? Like, let's go. Give us your weirdest job you've done. Something that's normal, and then probably the one you're most happiest about you've done.
The weirdest I've done, I think it was I think starting out, you know, trying to of course make some cash. I did I would bike ride around Toronto on this really fucked up bike. I can swear here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay.
On this really fucking stupid bike, and it was Just Eat. You know, Just Eat is like that.
Yeah.
Just Eat.
Yeah.
So I was advertising their thing, and I had these $5 coupons, like stacks of them, and I was biking around Toronto, and I had this. It wasn't just a normal bike. I had this giant box in front of it for some reason, and the Just Eat sign on either side.
Yeah.
And literally I was getting like 20-25 an hour, which was pretty sweet. I was
Pretty
like, okay, I'll
decent,
just bike.
Just
and
like a walking
get paid.
advertisement.
Yeah.
I want to, but yeah, basically,
Like
but I
biking.
would bike
Yeah.
through all of Toronto for like 3 hours, I think 4 hours, and I just hand out these freaking $5 coupons, and some people would just come like take 10 from me. I'm like, just take it, whatever. That was by far the weirdest job I've done, and it's funny because, you know, you kind of. I guess getting into the industry, the arts, you know, you kind of expect, you know, let's say you're going to do something, you know, random. And I never wanted to. I was always like, no, fuck that. I want to do something different. But I always found myself in that situation. I'm like, I guess, you know, it is part of the process. You know, you got to fucking do it. But I think coolest job, that was your second part, right? Coolest. I think, well, there's 2. It was definitely when I got the part for the Netflix series In the Dark. And on the second day, the production, the AD tells me, he's like, have you met Ben yet? I'm
Stiller,
like,
right?
Ben, yeah, Ben.
No fucking way.
I'm like, Ben Stiller? I'm like, yeah, he's in the tent. I'm like, really? All right, let's go see. And then, you know, I meet him, and he's like, hey, you know, great fan of your work. I love how your work. And so he was telling me that. And I was like, oh, shit, dude, thank you.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And there are 2 other ones that are pretty dope. One was a video game with Ashley Tisdale. Ashley Tisdale, I grew up watching.
Yeah.
Like Sweet Life and stuff. Huge.
High School Musical, right?
Yeah.
So my girlfriend's a huge High School Musical fan. She loves High School Musical. And
He said same.
He said same? He said sweet or same?
I know. Hold up.
He
What I was
said
gonna
same,
say.
okay?
Yeah, let's leave it at that. Well, I was gonna say something about singing, but let's go same. I think it's better.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, you know, Ashley, she was really, you know, she was hot too. Like, you know, of course, right? And then they didn't tell us she was working on the video game until I got there to Montreal, and they're like, so Ashley Tisdale's playing this. I'm like, oh shit. And unfortunately, my girlfriend wasn't with me, but she would have freaked out. I texted her. I'm like, yo, do you know who's here? Ashley Tisdale. She's like, fuck.
That should have been me.
But yeah, that was.
When you say video game, like, what do you mean? Like, was that like it was a video game based?
Yeah,
film?
House of Ashes. House of Ashes. Yeah. So basically, it's like they have the whole camera set up in front of your face. You got the microphone and everything, the thing on your chest, and you know it's like the storyboard kind of game.
Okay.
Right,
okay.
and you know you go in step by step and stuff. But yeah, it was pretty sick. So you're in just like this massive room with a bunch of little green like dots all around the room and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you you have two giant flat screen TVs in front of you, and that give you the script, and then basically you're just doing the scenes with your the other guys.
That's kind of cool. Actually, yeah.
It was pretty sick, and it was by far, it was really like, it was nothing like being on a movie set, because the scripts are in front of you. Like, and there's no makeup, there's no prep, there's no wardrobe. You just go in, boom, you're comfortable in whatever you're wearing, and you just get the stuff done. So
for a movie set, what's the longest you've like been like set up, like makeup and everything? Like, would it have been for like the Enrico scene? I'm assuming for when you got that neck.
Actually, you know what? No, really? That was the longest until I did this recent series called Alert with Scott Can. Actually, you know the guy Scott Can?
No,
he was in Entourage.
Okay, yes, I know.
Yeah. Oceans.
Rings a bell.
Yeah. His dad was the guy from Godfather. Sonny.
Oh, really? Yes. Okay,
Sonny. His dad's Sonny from Godfather. I hope I got that right. I don't know. But yeah, he that scene I get. I can't say too much, I guess, but it's a torture scene. I get mistakenly accused of something.
Okay.
And I get beat up, and they had to do this whole prosthetic makeup, and that shit was brutal. It was 3 sessions, 6 hours each time, and then on the day it was a 16-hour day.
Damn.
With that makeup on me. So
and you can feel it on your face, right? Like,
bro, I can show you a picture. You want to see a picture?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
so
we'll
put the picture up too.
Yeah,
so
we'll get it edited.
It was yeah. So it was like, it was fucked up. It was a pretty bad picture. So yeah, one eye was closed. Like literally for 16 hours, I had one eye was like this the whole time.
16 hours.
16 hours.
How does that feel after you take? Like,
it feels terrible.
Yeah.
It feels terrible because it's the amount of pressure. Because you naturally want to open your eye, both eyes, right? But one eye's open the whole time, and the prosthetics are just weighing down on your face, and it's brutal. It really doesn't.
Do you ever worry about like that taking a toll on your your physical features? Like, no, straight up.
Honestly, skin wise, yeah, I was always concerned. So you always voice your concern, like 100%. I didn't know, but when I first started, of course, you're a little bit more shy. You don't really say much, but you have to make sure, like, your health is also your priority, right?
Yeah.
So you tell them, like, listen, you got to put a protective layer on my face if you're going to do this stuff. You got to make sure, like, the products, there's no allergens or anything like that.
And if you don't state that, then they're just doing it, right? Like, they'll just start doing the makeup?
Yeah. Here, this will look like.
Holy.
Oh, wow.
Can't wait till the audience sees this. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Hold on.
Wait, swipe left, swipe to see.
Oh, my God. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts, bro.
I can see what you mean. Yeah. That's
they put some
wild.
stuff over your eye there?
Yeah. So that's a whole prosthetic over my eye, and like a bump on my nose, and like the gash on my.
You got beat up in that film.
I got beat up bad, and I can show you guys behind the scenes too, but I'm not sure if you can share it much.
That's fine.
But
they can see through our enthusiasm.
Bro,
How freaking bad
it was. It was
Yeah.
nuts. By far the hardest day.
That's crazy.
I've worked.
I was gonna say, what film or what character did you have to prep the most for? Like, you had to personally like be that person and then get into the film. You know what I mean? Because I for example, like Leonardo DiCaprio, he slept in a bear, right, for that one movie. So like, what have you done? Like, extreme? Be honest.
Your best method acting.
I think she's laughing because she knows how I work, but I can't say that. No, I can't.
Say it.
No. I mean, look, a lot of the time, when you're on set, you want to vibe with the person. You see what's up. Yeah. You see your surrounding. When you're in the spot, it's a different feeling, right? So a lot of the time, it's just go in with an open mind and see what's up. Like, it's not, go nuts, like sleep in a bear or like get tortured before the torture scene. I'm not gonna fucking like, baby, slap me 10 times so I can get into character or some shit. No, I'm not gonna. No, it doesn't make sense. But I think honestly, that torture scene though, going into it, I think it was a lot to handle because you had to scream. There's yelling, there's crying, there's blood, and like this whole scene again. It's like I'm forced to eat something laced with fentanyl. Yeah. So that I start to think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think prepping for that, I would watch a lot of like actually Leo DiCaprio and his yelling, his intensity and stuff. That was also in the beginning too, and kind of learning from that and seeing what he does, and you know, facial expressions, how intensity shows the most. You know, I had another scene for that Netflix movie that's coming, the one I mentioned, Code 8 Part 2. That one, there's a scene where, you know, towards it I get like poisoned or something, but like there's a part where I'm crawling on the ground and the poison's taking effect, and that part is like, you know, just kind of getting an idea of what would be cool. So I kind of watch different things, and Leo is actually one of the ones I watch a lot. Yeah, definitely, because he's really intense. He's
for
crazy.
sure, for sure.
Nuts.
Do you ever feel like when you're done like on a set, you feel like that same character when you go home? Like, has there ever been a film that made you that intense? Or? No. You can quickly switch it on and off.
I think it's not like, you know. The thing is, I also choose not to do really emotionally, like. I remember they requested a tape for The Boys. And it was the character was just a fucked up character, you know. And The Boys is pretty fucked up.
It is pretty fucked up show overall, yeah.
But I guess, you know, timing of me and everything that I was doing, everything, but the character was just a little too fucked up for me to be like, oh, get into that, you know, down. Like, it was really dark. Yeah. It was dark as hell. So I'm like, it's not worth it. I'm like, no. So I just said, no, I'm good.
Are you kind of picky with the characters that they give you in the way, like, how you kind of want to be portrayed, or even, like, how you want your emotions to be shown?
I mean, you know, it's not, I wouldn't say, no, I'm not picky, because, you know, everything's an opportunity, right? Opportunities to showcase, you know, your variety, your versatility, right? That's the whole point, as, like, you know. But, like I said, like, certain extreme scenarios, you know, sometimes if you really don't feel comfortable at all, like, and you feel like it wasn't a good time too, that's probably what I would say for that part. But yeah, no, I'm not picky in that sense. I think, you know, getting the opportunity to just showcase anything is great, and you know, it's material. So
yeah. Who's your favorite actor, or who's someone like you look up to?
I would say Leo, Denzel. I love Denzel.
Love him.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of Al Pacino, De Niro, friggin' the basics. You know, everyone knows these guys. Everyone knows the tops. But one of them I actually love. One guy I love, which I've actually taken a lot of, like, I've watched his videos over and over again to take a lot of cues from, is Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, he's crazy. Like, even to, like, now I've seen his biggest change. Like, you seen the one he did, I forget the guy who did Punisher.
Yeah, okay.
You know who I'm talking about, right? Yeah. I wish I could get the name right off the top of my head, but they did that podcast, and you could see, like, his overall change, where, like, who he was as a young person, and even to where he talks about, like, he's like, I used to come in really hot-headed thinking I'm the best thing there, and the only reason that these people are there, they're blessed to be around me. And then for him to do a full switch on his personality and, like, kind of say, this isn't who I am, is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah. No, I find him one of the best by far, and his prep work for, you know, the characters that he takes on, like, and you know, you watch his scenes where he's like yelling and screaming, his intensities, you know, is really up there. So I've taken I just watch a lot of his videos, just kind of take stuff from notes.
Like you said, even his podcast, like, you feel the emotion, the rawness, and he's just being real. He's not even acting at that point.
He has a podcast.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he has a podcast, right?
I don't know if he was interviewed on it. I can't remember his name, and I feel really bad because, like, amazing actor, and, like, even too is just really well talked. Like, John, is it John? Ooh, I almost have it.
Well, John something.
I'll figure it out.
Was it Wolf of Wall Street too? That guy?
John Berthal. That's what it is. John Berthal. Okay. That's what it is. See, I knew it was close, but yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies.
Well, even too, it's like in Fury, he actually shaved down his one tooth. So, like, in Fury, you'll see Shia LaBeouf, he only has half a tooth, and he actually filed it down. His he asked the dentist to do it. They said no, so he did it himself. So that's where, like, you kind of see, like, these people. It's like, how deep do you have to get into character, right?
Oh, yeah, his intensity is unmatched. Like, I think it's.
But yo, like, you're obviously on film. You know what I mean? Like, do you see your face everywhere if you're on movies and stuff? Like, do you not give a fuck about what other people think about you? You know what I mean? Like, how did you separate that, like, what people think about you, and then just being out there?
I think I'm more critical of myself.
Yeah.
I think if I see myself on screen, you know, I'm really critical. But I don't. Yeah, I mean, no, I can't there's no point in doing that. Really,
Yeah.
you're just gonna kind of torture yourself in that sense. It doesn't make sense. It's just you want to see yourself and you try to critique yourself and try to improve on that, and that's the number one thing. Just keep improving. But
Yeah.
that's it. That's all that matters.
Do you struggle watching yourself on film or like rewatching stuff?
I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think
I'm the same way. I hate it.
it's more so because I'm critical. That's all. Like, you know, watching, you know, any movie, or I mean, it also depends on the you know, the type of movie or something. I don't know. It's just, it's weird, you know, sometimes. And you know, like my girlfriend, she watches it, she loves it. She's like, "Oh, you're so great in this and this and that." I'm like, "Really? What about this?" You know, but yeah, but it's natural.
Do you feel like being critical on yourself is kind of what pushed you this far and like just excelling?
Yeah, I think, you know, being trying to, you know, just do 100% in anything you do is the most important thing, right? And like, you know, we have self tapes that's, you know, for getting, you know, these auditions and stuff, and I would spend, you know, sometimes I'd spend 8 hours, 10 hours a day just doing this self tape. Like we would be up, I remember like with my girlfriend, we'd be up till like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. just doing these tapes and doing it over and over again, just maybe tweaking it a little or doing something or doing anything you can do to kind of put yourself in that situation. Like, you know, if I would give an example, you know, there was, you know, Fargo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was almost called up for Fargo between two people. It was me and some other guy in the U.S. And then the scene was like the guy's, he gets like, his face gets burned or something. And then, you know, he's just like crazy dude. So this whole scene, like I'm, you know, spraying myself down with water to showcase, you know, sweat and everything. He had a hammer, so I actually got a hammer in the scene, in the audition scene. So I'm fucking, you know, I got everything on me. I have like, I put anything in my mouth to try to kind of showcase that, you know, I'm fucked. Like, yeah. So it's all, you know, just any way you can find to just put as much effort in is the most important part. So.
What, I guess, what is your why? Like, you know what I mean? It seems like you're super driven. It seems like you love what you do. What is your why? What's behind all that?
You know, you got certain milestones or certain stepping stones you want to hit, certain goals you want to hit. And again, it just keeps going back to just put 100% in whatever you do. And I think that all started way back at university too. When I made that decision, that kind of stuck with me. And just have that mentality, keep going, and you know, wherever you are, just work as hard as you can, and that's it.
Do you have like a goal or something you want to strive for, something you want to complete for sure? Like,
I think, you know, it's in this industry, you know, it's tough to say like type of goal or something, but I think it's just, you know, I have these personal points that I want to reach to, and same with, you know, my girlfriend together. So we, you know, that's kind of what we strive for. And, you know, of course there's financial aspects to it. There's like, you know, family aspects and all that stuff too. So, you know, those are important. I think that's mainly what I focus on, but the work is like, that is all a byproduct of the work. So
yeah, it all kind of works together to get you to where you want to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. I guess let's talk about the soccer life, bro, because we were playing soccer with Neema Naz's skit, and like when you started playing, it was just different. Like you could tell you used to play like back in the day.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
Give him the ball, he ran the whole back like nothing.
School all of us, and just sprint down the sideline. Like,
man.
So what's your history with soccer, bro?
Soccer was, you know, my true love, man. I love soccer. Soccer was again, like I said, I wanted to be professional, and yeah, I played really competitively for a while. And you know, it was my everyday, like everything was just soccer. I wanted to be a pro, and I'd watch Ronaldinho. You know, Ronaldinho's where, you know, the old, his style was just, it was magic. Like,
even you have really good footwork. I've seen that one video you posted on.
Just makes it.
I seen the one video you posted. You did the Cristiano challenge.
Yeah.
Crazy footwork though, just the way you moved it. Even too, I thought you were gonna like, I don't even know. I thought you were gonna do a trick and you just literally throw it right in front of you, catch it, put it down.
It
was sick.
No, it was dude. Freestyling was what I first did. Like freestyling.
That's how you got into it.
So yeah, it was a bunch of literally the first time I kicked the ball was in the balcony of my old house. my parents' house, and there was a basketball actually, and I just started doing keep ups with it.
Yeah.
And then it just, I don't know, that I have that in my head.
And you
like,
only have a balcony, so you know.
yeah, it was literally I just started doing keep ups, and I'd go outside, I'd do keep ups, and I'd watch Ronaldinho videos. I'm like, I want to how does he do that? I want to know how to do that, and it just kind of grew from there.
Like I just dances with the ball. Bro.
Oh, amazing, bro!
Just an artist.
I love it.
It's crazy.
I love football. Just
how do you finding the World Cup so far? The one in Qatar.
Oh, that like some of the results are nuts.
Really though,
like
for real.
Japan, the mic fell.
Oh,
Japan being like number 1 in the group.
Yeah, bro. What the
Being
hell?
top of the group when Spain and Germany are in there, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
It's
literally.
nuts. It doesn't make sense.
There's a lot of upsets. It was the Portugal. No, not Portugal. It was Germany upset. Freaking who else? It was a big guy. I forgot who it was, but it was like a couple big upsets in this World Cup for sure.
Yeah, no, there was a lot, and Italy didn't even make it. So
yeah, bro.
nuts.
My fiance's Italian, yo.
Oh shit.
I didn't hear the end of that.
I was in Italy when Italy beat who was it? Was it Germany? I think in 2012 Euro or some shit. Euro.
I think
was
so.
2012.
Yeah, the Euro.
Bro, when Italy beat like Germany and Balotelli scored that crazy goal.
Oh yeah.
Bro, like we were eating at a restaurant, and all of a sudden this crowd of Italian people with flags just came in and freaking started cheering, and I'm like, what? What's going on?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was crazy experience.
Yeah, she was telling me like back when they won the World Cup in 2006, I think, like Toronto was just wild. Like all the Italians down there, right? All the construction workers down there. Talking about the World Cup when Italy won.
Yeah, and where was it, Markham, right?
No, Toronto. Toronto was lit. The whole, all of downtown Toronto was lit when they won.
Do you remember when, like, I think, it was that year, but recently, I think won the game, I think it was Portugal won, where they stormed all of London.
What was that?
It was
Euro?
I think it was the Euro where they stormed all of London. Like I remember going downtown just to I went out to eat, and you couldn't go anywhere because all the cars were just honking, boom, 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 and they took over the city.
Yeah. So I guess what lessons can you take from soccer that would help you in the acting life? Like,
oh yeah, I mean, there's actually, I would say there's quite a bit, because they're both kind of it depends on your own work, I guess, in a sense. So. Soccer, that competitive aspect in soccer really is a big thing. Yeah. Like that stuck with me for my entire life. And, being on a team, trying to be the first player, or trying to, play as many minutes as possible, or seeing the best player on the team. You're like, okay, I want to get to his position. I don't want to be second, third, fourth. I want to be the best one on the team. And that whole mentality just sticks with you. And it's a really big help with anything. So that's why I always suggest, if any parents are kids and stuff, just put them in sports. Sports is the best thing. 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Really, you learn so much. You know what I mean?
Acting's pretty competitive, I'm assuming, right? Because with the call list, is that a big factor? Because I've heard about it being something, but is it actually a factor being on that list and where you are?
With what?
The call list of this is the first person that they're kind of looking for, and as it goes down, it's kind of I don't know, I've just heard this from I guess hearing podcasts and stuff where it's if I'm not towards the bottom, I have less respect. But is that a big thing there, or
you're talking about the call list of the actors that's on a production?
Exactly.
No, for me it doesn't. I've never considered that to be a factor. I think it's just you're there. You're happy to be there. You're just ready to work, right? And of course, number one on the call sheet is gonna have the most amount of work. So it doesn't everyone on that sheet, I think, is all just equally as important, especially the crew as well. I mean, coming from a production background where we direct and do all that stuff, you have a profound respect for the crew and how much work they put in. It's insane. And there's no point in time where I would ever consider one to be more than the other. It's all just a full team, and they all have to work together. They have to cooperate together. And productions fall apart if you have people that are oh, that's not my job, or that's when a production can fall apart, because it's a team. You have to work together. There's no other choice. So priority wise, no, I think hierarchy shouldn't exist, but of course there is.
Okay.
But it is what it is.
I was gonna ask about the directing. I guess out of the things you do, so director, actor, writer, which one do you like one more than another? Or
of course I love the acting, but I love the directing. I think that finding ways to.
That seems like the toughest part, though.
I mean, it's just it's like when you have a camera and you're trying to tell a story through a camera, right? And then my favorite part is just trying to find different ways to move this camera and to give it a different feeling. Like, I think, it's just, there's something about that whole aspect of being creative with how you're showcasing an image and telling that story. It really intrigues me, I think. And as a starting directing too, and then you learn how to communicate with actors, and then that also helps you in turn, because you realize what directors want, so that you can be on the spot, be like, okay, you want this, okay, good. And always asking them, it's like, what do you want in this scene, what do you want, like, if there's any point in time where you feel like the movie we just did, I asked the director, is there anything else you want, variations, whatever, they say it, and then you just do it. So
what was like one of the most important, or a note that stuck to you that a director gave to you?
There was one that stuck out very well. That one, so I did an episode of Coroner on CBC, and the director, so the first scene we had, I was in interrogation room with the lead, the tall guy, and it's like literally 5 paragraphs I had to say this freaking scene. But when you want to feel like you want to give like that intensity and that feeling in a scene, you may have times of pauses. You may think you may just give that beat, and sometimes it's appropriate, but other times it's not. Like, it reads differently when you look at it on TV, right? And the director is like, listen, this TV show, like, people want to click it and be entertained and like quick. Like, we don't want them to sit and like wait for you to say something, even if it's like, I'm talking about like half a beat longer. Like, it's not too
details,
much, but yeah, detail. He's like, listen, get through it. You don't need to do that because it reads differently. And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't really realize that until then I started listening to that, and I'm like, okay, yeah, there's a bit of a smoothness that happens if you have that thing. And I've seen like movies where actors, like, it takes 2 years for them to get a word out, for them to say something in the scene. They're just pausing forever, and it's unnecessary. But you may think it's good, but it doesn't read that.
That kind of reminds me of a podcast I heard with Mr. Beast. Like, Mr. Beast is that YouTube guy, right? And he says that, like, when he ends his videos, he has to, like, when you end it, just end it right away. Don't try to drag out that ending, because then they'll just tune out right away. So it's like just the little details like that.
Yeah,
you know
it was
what I mean?
the Schultz one, right?
Schultz.
Where he's like, exactly what you said. It's just, once you're done, don't keep on talking. Don't just end it there, because they probably checked out at that same moment once you said it's over. Yeah,
no, he's right, 100%. It's keeping that audience attention is the most important thing. And it depends on budget too. If you're dealing with stuff, they have the money for you to take your time. But other times, but it was a really good note. 100%.
And a lot of these films that you're a part of, are you actively applying to be in these, or do you have like a profile enough where people are looking for you? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, well, I mean, after the amount of work I've done, I've had productions reach out and say, hey, we want to consider Sammy for this role and stuff. It all depends on the type of projects that are out there. But I'm still auditioning, of course, and I mean, we'll see what happens. There like these Christmas movies, or these cute little thing movies with like, okay, we want to consider him for this, like, what's his availability, or how's this looking like.
Do auditions feel like Game 7, where you're like, I gotta just get into it?
Yeah, I mean, it's important. That's your opportunity to showcase what you got. So hence, like, putting that amount of hours that I would put for certain things is necessary, I think. So
Is there any movie that you're like writing or working on yourself that you're hoping to put out soon?
Actually, my girlfriend has a completed script. That one's done, and we have another movie. It's a horror movie that
I love horror.
We have backing from a landscaping company.
Okay.
And this movie, like, it's that one I'm excited for, but we'll see when it gets off the ground or something. We'll see what happens, but.
Okay, that's sweet.
Excited for that one.
How do you have all these ideas? You know what I mean? Just like creating these short films, and all these like different like types of like scary. Then you made a soccer movie, right? Was that based on your life?
No, not based on my life personally, but I wanted to do something with soccer and medicine.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's why I had that whole
Yeah.
thing. And yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. You see what's out there. You kind of learn. One thing that I always go by is actually a quote from Will Smith. He's like, imitate before you innovate. So you see these people that are such amazing, they do so well at their craft and their work. You imitate that. You try to take that in and you're like, okay, learn from that. And then you use that to innovate and make your own stuff. So that's where it comes from.
Like, don't like reinvent the wheel kind of thing.
Yeah, like, you got so many amazing creative directors and stuff out there and actors and writers that are just so good. And, you want to just learn from them as much as possible. And, that's why, like, every set I've been to, I always shadow the directors.
Okay.
So, that series I got to shadow Roland Emmerich. Do you guys know him?
No, not off.
He did Independence Day with Will Smith. He was a director.
Oh, really? Yeah.
He did White House Down. He did.
Oh, wow. Holy
Damn. Midway. You know Midway, the movie that came out?
Not off the top of my head. What's
So
it
Midway
about?
was that big World War II movie, I think. I don't know, but I was on that set actually. I was one of the cast there, and I had a scene with Ed Skrein. Sorry.
It's kind. Okay. Yes.
It's got the villain from Deadpool.
Yep.
Okay,
That guy?
yeah.
Yeah. So the director. This is a funny story too, but the director he was just like, he was so straight up, he was so cool, and I just asked him at the end, I'm like, listen, I just want to stick around, I want to watch you.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, okay, sure, just watch. So I sat
awesome.
there and I watched them do their thing. So it was dope.
Do you take notes when you're doing that, or are you just kind of like just?
No, I mean,
just registering it in your head.
I think it's more like it's like, okay, I look at the scene, I'm like, okay, how would I film this? I look at how I would film it. Okay, I would start with this shot and then that shot, or move in or push in or dolly or whatever the fuck it is. And then, I look at what he's doing. I'm like, oh shit, okay, so he kind of did that same thing, and like a certain shot he did was so cool, and I remember looking at him like, oh wow, that's a dope shot. Like, that's a really, really cool way to move the camera. And the scene it was a fighter jet in this massive stadium, and I had to walk up to one of the guys and say, are we really gonna face like the Japanese fighters tomorrow and go to war?
Yeah.
And this amazing jet was there, real life, full size, and he was just moving this camera from like above the wing. He'd pull it back and he'd drop it underneath the plane, and then he'd reveal the main character like sitting and working on the plane.
Oh, that's
right.
Okay,
So
yeah.
he had so many like different aspects of the scene done in one shot sequence. Right. It was me coming in. You saw me from distance. Come back. See what's happening, what's the foreground, this massive plane, and then come back, the guy's working on it,
Yeah.
and I'm walking towards the camera. Like, that stuff really stands
Okay.
out.
That's
It's
sick.
dope. It's dope stuff.
How important is networking for you in the industry you're in?
Huge. Yeah. It's
How do you
very
approach that? Like, when you go into these big events or a big movie, like, do you have a conscience of like, I'm gonna be networking here? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you just approach it as in the most friendliest kind of way.
Yeah.
Just, you're trying to meet people and just see what it is. If you approach it like, okay, this guy's important, I got to get his number or some shit, like I got to get his contact, or no, it's more like conversate, have fun, enjoy. At the end of it, hey, you do this? Okay, I do this. And then, all right, then let's connect. Like, that's kind of how I approach it.
Yeah, let the energy kind of carry you there, and then once you see them, it's like, okay, now it's game time.
Yeah,
so
there
back
you go.
to game 7.
You got to break that ice first.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just show up and be like, so you're a writer, right? No, it's like,
Is there
connect.
anybody you want to meet that like you haven't, but they're on your list?
Yeah, there's a lot of people I want to meet. Yeah, of course. I think Leo DiCaprio is one of them I want to meet, but I think Marty Scorsese is one guy I really want to meet.
Amazing.
He's like a guru. He's like, he just is magic, the way he does his films. And I bet a lot of those actors that I named, I really want to meet them, and director-wise as well. Alejandro Inarritu, the guy who did Birdman.
Sounds
he did
familiar.
Revenant.
Okay, yes,
Yeah,
I know who you're
I want to
talking
meet
about.
him too.
Okay.
He's
Any specific reason?
his directing style is amazing. I love his directing style. Like, he came on the map when he did Birdman, and he did that whole movie in one sequence. Right? It was the illusion of the movie was shot in one take, and that's why it got so big. And he actually won Best Director for it at the Oscars. So he, I think his approach when the way he does scenes is just unbelievable. And Revenant was fucking nuts.
Amazing movie.
Yeah.
Unbelievable movie. So yeah, I really want to meet him.
have you ever been like, I guess, who have you met and you're kind of starstruck other than Ben Stiller? Like, has there been anyone else where you're kind of like, oh, how's this person here? And Ashley Tisdale.
I don't know.
You
I
guys have a
wouldn't. I
couple,
wouldn't.
I guess.
I wouldn't say like I was starstruck per se. I don't know. It's different. Like you see them, but then I guess in the moment you're just focused on your work. So it's just like, hey, what's up? And
Did you ever have imposter syndrome at all? Like as you're getting in there?
like what? Do you, like
Imposter syndrome in the sense of like, you've done the work, you should be there, but for some reason like you feel like you maybe.
It's the thing is, like when you arrive on set, it's just all the prep that you do, right? Everything's prep, and you work towards getting to that whole place, right? So everything is based off the amount of work, and literally the confidence and everything comes in from work and prepping. That's it. That's all it is, and it's really important to always keep that in mind. It's like the more work you do, the more prep you do, the more confident you are wherever the fuck you go, right? Yeah. And like Kobe Bryant is one of my I looked up to him so much, for sure. And that was his mentality, and he would just work and prep. So when it was game time, he would he would practice the same moves before the game, and he would perform the same move during the game, and he'd always score. Yeah. So that's very, very important. So
bro, I remember saying Kobe Bryant like that probably like impacted so many like individuals our age, because I remember I was at work when I heard when he passed away, bro, and like I actually felt emotional. Yeah, you know what I mean, because Kobe Bryant's one of those guys who like they're actually a staple in the guys like looking up to someone. Yeah, you know what I mean.
I remember just the group chats. I remember like just messaging the boys. Like I remember messaging my boy, and I'm like, no, stop lying. And then and the worst part is now you can just you type in the internet, you could type in Kobe, and it's just gonna pop up. It's not like you have to actually search stuff. Now it's like this is the main news, and that's what you're gonna get hit with. And it's kind of it's good, I guess.
It's crazy how you could never it's crazy how you can never meet somebody, but they have that connection with you. You know what I mean? Like that you can actually get emotional about it. Because I remember that was a sad day for me, bro. Like I used to work at TD in call center. I remember I saw the update. I literally just got off the headset and I just like chilled for like an hour, bro. Because I was like, I don't want to be on the phone right now. That's wild.
There's one person I really wanted to meet was Kobe.
Yeah.
Kobe and Cristiano Ronaldo. Was the other guy. I need to meet him. That was one. Like I was starstruck by it. Like just I wouldn't know what to say.
Yeah.
I just look at him like, oh my god,
is he actually right in front of me?
Oh my god.
How was it? I guess let's switch it up here. How was it working with Neema Naz?
Oh, Neema's. Oh my god, this guy, man. So that movie was my first comedy movie. Like I did a lot of drama and stuff. And one second.
It's a team Q right there.
Bro, Neema's fucking hilarious.
Wait, were you the one that he sat on playing FIFA?
No.
Okay, good. Because we were talking to him. He's like, yeah, like someone beat me in FIFA and I just sat on him. And I was
I did beat him. Yeah. Oh, I beat him in FIFA. He didn't sit on me, but he was threatening. He was like so angry because he gets pissed off when it comes to FIFA, right? And he's like, I'm not losing. And I beat him.
Is he trash?
No, he's good. Because he beat me. He beat me too. Like, fair game. He beat me too. But I beat him like twice or something. He beat me like 3 times. But he's funny as fuck, man. It's like every scene we're about to do, this guy would say some fucking either funny or stupid or whatever the fuck it was. But he would make me laugh. And then action. I'm like, fuck. And we have to keep a straight face. Like it was difficult, but honestly, it was 3 weeks of just laughing and fun, right? Yeah. And it was very different from what I've usually done. It was usually more emotional, more drama, and coming on a comedy set and just working with someone like him, having that bond and that brotherhood. So it was a lot of fun, 100%. And the director was fucking hilarious too, Rob.
Yeah,
he's an unbelievable guy.
Did it make the experience like easier and even like time go by faster with like it being like that kind of like I guess emotion?
Yeah, 100%. I think it went by fast. Like we shot for 3 weeks in London, and it went by very quickly.
Yeah,
like I don't remember. Like it was just we're looking back at the scenes we did. I'm like, what the fuck did we just swear we just did this? But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and Neema is just very funny guy. Very funny guy. And
just did you know Neema before?
No.
Oh, the first time you met him was during that movie?
Yeah. First time I met him during the audition process.
Did you see him on TikTok before though? Or?
No, I actually didn't.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't know. Yeah,
wow.
I didn't. And I met him in the audition room, and I see him and we do the scene together, and I remember there's an emotional part of the scene too, and Neema's looking at me, he's like, Oh, wow, dude, I almost fucking cried there. Holy shit! Like he was, and then, but he was saying stuff in that audition room that the director just felt like, oh, okay, these guys have this, it's a funny like bond. It's like it could be that serious and funny aspect, which fit really well. And I think overall that movie was a blast to film. Yeah, and I'm happy it did with Neema. 100%.
When is that one supposed to release?
Oh, it's probably next year.
Next year,
like that,
we definitely gotta watch.
I was gonna ask, what's so once you finish a movie, what's the turnaround time to actually get it out in production and then actually like edited and then sent out to actually watch?
It's like, it's. I mean, if it's a TV series, it's quicker turnaround time. But yeah, movies, they usually take a year, something like that, maybe even more, for prep because excuse me, a lot of times they want to do like either a festival run depending on the budget of the movie. Okay. But like the one I did for Code 8, when did I shoot that? That was like last winter. So yeah, a year ago, and it's coming out in like 2-3 months. So yeah,
sweet,
year and a half.
Yeah.
But that was depending on budget too, right? If you have like Netflix, you have money to
push it out, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask also. So then, when that happens, is there work that they're constantly contacting you for? So like maybe to fix something up, or is it just like once you finish, you're like you don't see them for like another till it's out?
No. I think it's very typical to have ADR sessions after you finish a movie. So you just go into a booth and they play the scenes for you on the screen, and they have these cues. So the cue would come up like this green line across the screen, and once it hits the other one, so it comes like this, you have to, then you initiate your line, and you try your best to kind of match what it was during the scene. So yeah, a lot of times you do ADR sessions. I had one last week. I have one coming this Monday. Okay. So yeah.
All for the code.
Code 8 was for last week.
Okay.
This one Monday is for Alert, the series. Yeah. So
busy.
Very
cool.
typical.
I was gonna say, when obviously now in an age where like social media is huge, right? So like you kind of have to be on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, etc. Yep. I see that you're making some TikToks now, some fire ones with the gal.
Bro, that was just I mean,
you guys gonna explore that more or what?
Yeah, of course. I think it's just fun. I think we're just having fun with it. Just whatever makes us laugh and we enjoy it.
But no, honestly, like it's really good content. Like I'm not gonna lie, I probably watched those 2 clips like so many times, just laughing. Like okay, let's go.
Christmas one, yeah.
The Christmas one was the best one. The best.
They're both Christmas ones, but I mean, like they're both really funny.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think anything to do with my girlfriend, and for anyone out there that just you have a significant other you want to do stuff with. It's a great opportunity to just have fun and just kind of connect to like that. So it's
do you feel like you're gonna double down on content on social media, like for a personal brand standpoint, or?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, she does. So my girlfriend does have a YouTube channel where she reviews a lot of like either trending tech or vehicles or automobiles, anything like that.
Oh, sweet.
And I shoot everything and edit and post production. So we're definitely exploring that and again having fun with it. I think it's the most important part. Just enjoy the process, and
that's one thing I want to touch on. Is you said you edited the videos, right?
Yeah.
So do you edit all your videos, or?
I edit everything. Yeah.
That's crazy. Like where did you learn how to edit? Like that's
editing,
time consuming.
Yeah, I mean editing was funny enough. So I did take. There's this one course I took, and it was It was editing, and what they did is they gave us raw clips from X-Files. Okay. And we had to edit them. And basically what it was is they taught us what cues made sense to make cuts. So if you're watching a movie, when a character looks the other way, that's your cue to cut, right? Okay. Or you have L cuts or whatever the fuck it's called, where the audio carries on of the next person before you cut to that person. Mm-hmm. Like these all are different tips. Like that, I love that course. That was amazing, and that kind of stuck with me. And yeah, editing. So I've just developed my whole editing. So it's professional editing. So I have DaVinci. I do color correcting professionally, audio work, sound work.
Literally the whole package, bro.
Literally.
Yeah, I mean you have to because if you like come up, you're trying to make your own project. You don't have the budget to fucking tell someone, hey, do this for me. They're gonna charge you an arm and a leg for it, and they don't care, right? In this industry, a lot of people just want their cash. Yeah, that's it is what it is, right? And you just learn the process. You just make do. Yeah.
What would be I guess a piece of advice you have for someone who's young and wanting to become an actor?
I guess learn from watching. things. You have to watch certain things, and you know, watch as many movies as possible. See what's out there and how people perform, and create a reel for yourself, a reel that showcases your work. Don't depend on other people's, like, let's say you get a low budget project and you work and you want to use that reel. That shouldn't be your only source. Like, you should make stuff too. Like, you should strive to, you know, try to get this little mini short film and get a crew together and write scenes that would, you know, fit you very well or something, and just kind of use that to showcase what you can do. So it's really important, because sometimes, you know, if you work on a low budget set, you know, it might not look good, right? It might not look fucking good, but
and it might not even like show your best work, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
too,
exactly.
Right?
You want to showcase your best work. So try to do that, and that's how you know. And of course, get a girlfriend, because
it helps, right?
No, that's amazing. But yeah, no, I think we're slowly like coming up, like, you know, with the time and stuff. Is there any things you want to say to our audience, like any things you want to promote, anything coming up?
Yeah, anything like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, got the movie that just released, Tehranto. You're gonna see that on streaming channel. I'm not sure what it's called. Do you remember? I don't remember. Shit.
You gotta let us know, because we
let us know. We'll put it in.
I'll text you guys. Then, you know, I have the Netflix movie coming out in 2 months called Code 8 Part 2.
Nice.
That is with Stephen Amell, the guy from Arrow.
Yep.
And Robbie Amell. I have that series is coming out. Alert. Be a part of that. And I think overall, you know, our production company, AZMK Productions, we do a lot of advertising work for a variety of companies. And at any point anyone wants to reach out, we're always open. And we have a team that's set up in Toronto right now. So we'll be there, and also work in BC. So, yeah, that's what we do.
That's awesome. We'll make sure to add all your handles, you know what I mean? That way people can actually search you guys up. And but no, honestly, brother, thank you so much for taking the time and sitting with us for an hour there, and really appreciate it, bro.
No problem.
Yeah, man, it was a pleasure. And like,
thank you for having me.
I hope everything, like, when you move BC is amazing, and like you continue to keep killing it, because
bro,
you're smashing it, man.
Yeah, bro.
And then make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget any of that. And make sure you follow Sammy.
Peace.
Peace.